Hi guys, my name is Lily and today I want to do a final review of the Gerber by Grylls knife. And I've used this now for the past couple of months. I think it's half a year ago that I bought this knife. And so far I have to say it hasn't let me down. I've used it for various bushcraft projects, but I haven't done a proper destruction test yet, and that's what I want to do today. Stay tuned. Now, before I come to the destruction test, I first want to share my experience that I had so far. First of all, at the beginning, it was a little bit hard to get out the knife out of the sheath, but now the sheath has loosened up a little bit and now it's really comfortable to put in the knife and to get out the knife safely. It's not good if the sheath is too loose or too firm, you know. Also, the fire steel still sits very tight in the sheath. I haven't lost it so far, which is a good thing. The fire steel makes some very decent, high quality sparks. And yeah, there's really nothing that I can complain about when it comes to the sheath. It looks a little bit peculiar, but yeah, that's just the design. With the knife, I have been very, satisfied so far. I've had it with me 1 week at the Mediterranean Sea, and it got wet a lot, and so I got a little bit of rust on the pommel here. Also, some other parts of the knife got a little bit rusty, but now that's gone because I've used the knife for batoning and such, and that must have rubbed off the rust which was on the surface. I've sharpened the knife once, and now it's fairly sharp. I had to sharpen it because I got it too dear, and you know, when you got deer, you have to cut through some bones and then your knife will get dull. But fortunately, it only got dull and not, for example, chipped. Like, for example, I had other knives, and when I got a deer with them, some of them got chipped, and that's what I don't like. But the blade of this knife here held up pretty good. Yeah, so now let's do a destruction test and see where the boundaries of the Bear Grylls knife are. Okay, so the first destruction test that I want to perform is rough batoning with this log here. This is beechwood, and it makes the best firewood because it doesn't have any resin, but it's really, really hard. So now I want to baton through this wood here and see how stable the knife is. As you can see, I need a lot of force to go through this wood here. Okay, now let's see how sharp the knife still is. Okay, now I want to put a little bit more stress on the blade and baton with a rock. Of course, you shouldn't do this just for fun, because it's not what the knife is made for, to use it with a rock baton. Okay, there's no damage on the blade, and you can see some rock scars on the back side, which is normal. Okay, so I would say that it has passed the batoning test. Now let's move on to another test, which is cutting through bone. Okay, now I'm going to chop the bone and see what damage the knife takes. And bone is pretty hard, so it's much harder than wood. Let's see what happens. The knife is still very sharp, and as you can see, I can scrape off some bone here. So the edge of the blade is still holding up great. Okay, now let's do another destruction test. I have this metal tin can here, which is pretty rusty. And now I'm going to chop it with my knife. I'm going to baton it with the stone and see if the blade finally takes some damage. I can't really see any damage on the edge of the blade. I can see some scratches on the backside from the stone, but the blade itself is really doing fine. So the next test that I want to perform is a very destructive one, something that you shouldn't do with your knives if you love them. I'm going to slash the edge of the blade on the stone to see what kind of damage it does. And yeah, this knife here is advertised as a spearhead as well, so you can attach it to a stick using the rivets here and here. So let's imagine you have a spear and you throw it at an animal and accidentally you hit a stone. That's something that actually can happen in a survival situation. So let's see what kind of damage the stone does to the edge now. Okay, now the blade has taken some damage and it looks like that the blade has rolled over. And I'm glad that it didn't chip, because if you have chips, you know, you need a lot of more time to repair the blade. Rolling over is not as bad, and it's a sign for a very tough blade. Okay, last but not least, I would like to do a knife tip test, a strength test. And I want to see if I can break off the tip. Okay guys, so I couldn't break off the tip, but actually I managed to bend it a little bit. And I think that's quite funny, because this proves one more time that they have used quite a tough steel and heat treatment for this blade. And of course a bent tip is not great, but it's better than a broken off tip. So my judgment for this knife is that it's really not a bad knife. And I think it's actually a good knife for the price. And I know that a lot of you guys are upset with Bear Grylls and what he's doing, and a lot of you don't like the Gerber company, but I'm not here to judge that, okay? I'm here just to make a review about this knife, and I really have to say it didn't perform badly or anything. Actually, it's a real good knife for this price, so I can't say anything bad about it. And yeah, also the one thing that I really like about the knife is the grip. The grip is very comfortable. I've never had a better knife, so when it comes to the handle, okay, so the handle is really great, very comfortable. And I like it that if you take it in reverse grip, you can put your thumb on the pommel, and if you're searching for grubs or anything, you have more force and you have less risk of slipping over onto the blade. So that's really good. Pretty good knife. If you want to buy one, I leave a link in the description of this video. I want to thank you for watching. If you want to support my channel, you can do so by buying some Survival Lily t-shirts. You will find a link in the description as well. Thank you for watching and stay tuned till next time.